Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you from West Hall on the campus of the Bermuda College. And this is the Bermuda College induction ceremony for the Company of Honorary Fellows. Our first speaker will be the president of the college, Dr. Duranda Green.
Good evening, everyone. To Mr. Souza, Chairman of the Board of Governors of Bermuda College, to the Honorable Randolph Horton, JP, tonight's host and Chairman of the Company of Honorary Fellows, Mr. Gary Phillips, Deputy Chairman of the Company of Honorary Fellows, Dr. Janet Ferguson, who is live streaming with us this evening, and Mr. Craig Bridgewater, tonight's inductees. The family of the late Dr. Eva Hudson, our first posthumous inductee. Mr. Dean Furbett, other honorary fellows joining virtually, members of the Bermuda College Board of Governors joining virtually, other guests both present and virtual, welcome to our annual Honorary Fellows induction ceremony. The Company of Honorary Fellows of Bermuda College was established in 1980 by the first president of Bermuda College, the late Dr. Archibald Hollis Hallett. It is a time at the beginning of every year when Bermuda College pauses to recognize the outstanding contributions and achievements of notable members of our community and bestows our highest honor and honorary fellowship upon those who have been nominated and selected to be inducted into the company. Like so many events during this past year, this evening's event has also had to be changed as a result of the pandemic. In past years, the Company of Honorary Fellows and their guests have gathered at the Cocoa Reef Resort, normally on a cold, often rainy, and blustery Saturday evening for the induction ceremony, followed by a lovely dinner, celebration, and fellowship. Although this evening's event is different, we will still celebrate and honor our three inductees. During the Company of Honorary Fellows' 41-year history, there has been 100 outstanding individuals inducted into the company. These distinguished individuals include former premiers, politicians, educators, medical doctors, community activists, and successful leaders in business and industry. One organization, Corange Limited, has also been inducted into the company as a special inductee, having donated $1 million to the Bermuda College in 1994. Of the 100 outstanding individuals we have honored, unfortunately, some are no longer with us, having been called home from labor to reward. And tonight, I ask that we will pause to remember and reflect on their legacies, especially those that we have lost over this past year. Mr. J. Christopher Kit Aswad, a 2006 inductee, Mr. Earl E. A. Hart, a 2002 inductee, Mr. James E. Smith, a 2004 inductee, and of course, Dr. Eva Hudson, our posthumous inductee for this evening. Please stand and join me in a moment of silence as we remember not only these four individuals, but the other 44 fellows who are no longer with us. Please stand. Thank you. May they all rest in peace. Please be seated. Tonight, we once again come together to recognize and celebrate Bermudians who, like all of our honorary fellows, have made significant contributions in their respective fields. You will hear more about our honorees shortly, but I would like to take this opportunity to extend my personal congratulations to each of you. Before I finish my remarks, I want to take this opportunity to thank a few individuals who have helped to make this night possible. First, to the Honorable Randolph Horton for his continued commitment as chairman of the Company of Honorary Fellows and for his unwavering support of Bermuda College. To Cherie Richardson, our BC's graphic designer, for not only being here tonight to make sure that this event is captured in pictures, but also for all that you've done leading up to this event. Thank you. And lastly, but in no means least, a special thank you to my executive assistant, Ms. Belinda Darrow, for an extraordinary job she does every year in organizing this event. Much appreciation to each of you. Again, welcome and thank you for joining us this evening as we celebrate and salute 3 outstanding Bermudian citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Green.
Mr. Chairman, I request that you admit Dr. Janet C. Ferguson, the Company of Fellows of the Bermuda College. 10 years served with distinction as the Executive Director of the Lifelong Learning Center at Bermuda College. Is committed to nurturing and celebrating human development and achievement through learning. To that end, she has worked across the spectrum of lifelong learning practice as a consultant, facilitator, as a strategy development advisor, and adjunct lecturer. Her cross-cultural international employment experience includes Bermuda, Trinidad and Tobago, the United Kingdom, and the Seychelles. Her engagements have included strategy development and action learning interventions for public, corporate, and education sector clients. Under her stewardship, the Lifelong Learning Center experienced exponential growth, both in terms of membership and the range of programs offered, from under 500 members to 2010, when she assumed the position of executive director, to more than 1,200 upon her retirement in 2009, and from less than 20 courses per semester to just under 40 during this period. In addition to extending and increasing the LLC's traditional wellness programs, a number of extremely popular new programs were introduced, including year-long tastes of place-themed offerings that supported courses in areas of the arts, design, music, cuisine, wine tasting, and film on Italy, France, and the Hispanic world. The world and current affairs and farm and lunch programs grew in popularity. Dr. Ferguson's tenure saw the development of effective working relationships with the Bermuda Music and Dramatic Society, Bermuda Underwater Exploration Institute, Bermuda National Trust, Bermuda Aquarium Museum and Zoo, National Museum of Bermuda, and the Bermuda Institute of Ocean Sciences. Has served as an adjunct faculty member at the Bermuda College and as an independent consultant at the adjunct faculty. She has also served a myriad other areas of the Bermuda community. Trustee and co-chair of the Education Committee of the National Museum of Bermuda, coach consultant to the Bermuda Environmental Sustainability Task Force, and consultant coach facilitator in the area of strategic development to a number of entities of the Bermuda public sector. Additionally, she has served as consultant for a Bermuda Electrolyte Company and as a board member of the Adult Education School, the Reading Clinic, Vision Bermuda, and the Bermuda Arts Council. Beyond Bermuda, Dr. Ferguson has served with distinction in a number of areas in the United Kingdom, including designer facilitator in the Leadership by Design, Innovative Public Sector Senior Leadership Program, and as a lecturer at the Civil Service College in the UK School of Government. She has also served as an adjunct lecturer within the Department of Continuing Education, Birkbeck College, the University of London. Currently, Dr. Ferguson is a visiting adjunct lecturer for the biannual Adult Education Guided Intensive Study doctoral program at Teachers College at Columbia University, New York. A member of the University of College of the Cayman Islands Graduate Council, and an adjunct instructor and board member at Story Center, a California-based organization that supports individuals and organizations in using storytelling and participatory media for reflection, education, and social change. Dr. Ferguson is an accomplished researcher and a number of numerous scholarly works, many of which have appeared in educational journals overseas. Her academic qualifications include BA Honors from the University of the West Indies, an MA from the University of London, MSc from the University of Strathclyde, and a PhD from the University of Warwick. She has, in addition, a number of other professional and vocational qualifications. Our distinguished nominee is married to Justice Ian Carey, former Chief Justice of Bermuda, and has one son. I'd like to ask if please Mrs. Evangeline Anderson, you can just step forward in order when the time comes to receive the award.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And on behalf of the Bermuda College Board of Governors, I certainly would like to add my congratulations to the inductees. Each one of them, as Dr. Green has said, certainly to be recognized for their invaluable contribution to Bermuda, its society, and certainly we're very pleased to support this wonderful, worthwhile initiative. On behalf of the Board of Governors and by the authority vested in the board by the Bermuda College Act of 1974, I hereby admit Dr. Janet C. Ferguson to the company of Fellows of Bermuda College and to all rights and privileges pertaining thereto. I know
Receiving on behalf of Dr. Ferguson.
So,
thank you.
kindly receive this first. Thank you very much.
If you could stay there now, please, while we hear from Dr. Ferguson. Dr. Ferguson. Dr. Ferguson, can you hear us?
I'm just hearing you for the first time. I think the
We can
connection
hear you,
has
so
been
go right
really
ahead.
poor. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
very
you
well.
hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Good evening. Horton, JP, Chairman of College Honorary Chair. I greet you too. Mr. Souza, Chairman, Duranda Green, President of Bermuda College, Bermuda College Fellows, distinguished guests. My apologies for my in-person for accommodating this virtual presence, as challenging as it may be. It is widely held that we come to know who we can be through engagement with others, and that's an authentic way to live fully in the world. Thank you for the many opportunities for engagement and your support. For accepting this fellowship and this honor on my behalf. Thank you, everyone, and a wonderful evening to you.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Ferguson, who is way out there in Tobago. So she's quite a way from us. Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I, at this time, request that you admit Dr. Eva N. Hudson, OBE, posthumous, to the company of Fellows of the Bermuda College. Mr. Phillips.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I acknowledge the chairman of the Bermuda College and the president, Dr. Duranda Green. The world community is informed by the late Maya Angelou that the plague of racism is insidious, entering into our minds as smoothly and quietly and invisibly as floating microbes enter into our bodies to find lifelong perches in our bloodstream. That's taken from Wouldn't Take Nothing for My Journey Now. In Bermuda, the disenfranchised were challenged by Mrs. Florence Maxwell, who insisted after the theater boycott in 1959 that we must be prepared to accept a biased account of our past unless we were prepared to write our own. It is within this context that the company of Honorary Fellows of the Bermuda College are drawn to consider the foreword in Second-Class Citizens, First-Class Men, and in particular, the following words by its author, Eva N. Hudson. This brief account of a decade of second-class citizenship is certainly no substitute for the history of the colored people in Bermuda. It is, however, a reminder that our achievements come only through struggle. Eva Naomi Hudson, OBE, PhD, born into a Hamilton Parish family with strong religious convictions and a deep concern for social justice, is recognized as a social activist, a writer, labor union leader, and educator. She was known for her efforts to fight racism in Bermuda from the segregation era into the 21st century. Earning no less than 6 academic degrees from prestigious universities in Canada, the United Kingdom, and the United States, including a PhD from Columbia University, Dr. Hudson was never not labeled by some as a troublemaker for her uncompromising and sustained views in her mission to have the community confront institutionalized racism, institutionalized protectionism, and more broadly, social injustice. The passing of Dr. Hudson earlier in 2020 reminds us of her powerful legacy as a racial justice advocate, long before the popularism of Black Lives Matter. She refused to allow the community to be satisfied with the end of official segregation and the ascendance to political power of Black Bermudians. In the late 1980s, together with a small group of dedicated people, she started the National Association for Reconciliation and for many years was its co-chair. She aligned herself with newer organizations such as the Citizens Uprooting Racism in Bermuda and continued to push for affirmative action and chastise the government for a lack of real progress. It is this submission that the sustained campaign and journey of Dr. Eva Hudson for social justice, for improving race relations in Bermuda, is deemed worthy of recognition. Maya Angelou once again helps to guide the transition of her vision into the future. Our young people must be taught that racial peculiarities do exist, but that beneath the skin, beyond the differing features, and into the true heart of being, fundamentally, we are all more alike, friend, than we are unalike. This posthumous award by the Company of Honorary Fellows of Bermuda College ensures that the voice and work of Dr. Eva N. Hudson, OBE, PhD, will never, ever be silenced. Respectfully submitted. Thank you.
Yes, we have Dr. Hudson's sister, Mrs. Grace Swan, will come forward. Thank you, Sword.
On behalf of the Board of Governors and by the authority vested in the board by the Bermuda College Act of 1974, I hereby admit Dr. Eva N. Hudson, OBE, posthumous, to the Company of Fellows of Bermuda College and to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
Not that I have that much to say. I thank you very much to the fellow for honoring my sister Eva at this time. I'm sure she would be very pleased. And I'm thankful also because this record can be shown to her nieces and nephews. I was just asked by my granddaughter this week if Aunt Eva was an activist. So I can also include that she was honored for the work that she did. Thank you very much for honoring me.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I request that you admit Mr. Craig I.V. Bridgewater to the Company of Fellows of the Bermuda College. Craig I.V. Bridgewater, FCPA, FCA, CIA. Craig Bridgewater currently serves as Group Head of Finance for the Bank of N.T. Butterfield. Prior to joining the bank in October of 2019, he was a partner with KPMG in Bermuda, where he had been appointed as the sector lead for the banking and asset management practice, leading the firm's go-to market to each of these sectors across multiple service lines. He was also KPMG in Bermuda's head of people with responsibility for human resources, learning and development, diversity and exclusion, performance management, and the graduate program. During his 18-year tenure, it don't look like he's been around 18 years. During his 18-year tenure with KPMG in both Bermuda and Chicago, Craig was the engagement partner for many of the firm's clients in the banking, asset management, insurance and securities, and local retail, wholesale, industrial, and hospitality industries. Craig has published several articles on thought leadership related to the banking and asset management industries. He was responsible for creating the firm's banking publication, Insights, which focused on the banking industry in Bermuda. Prior to KPMG, Craig was the financial controller for Orbis Investment Management Limited, and an assistant manager at Price Waterhouse in Bermuda, where he qualified as a chartered accountant in 1995, placing on the honor roll. Craig attended the Berkeley Institute, Albert College in Belleville, Ontario, Canada, and Carleton University in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. In addition to being a chartered public accountant, he also qualified as a certified internal auditor in 2001. In 2019, Craig was awarded the fellowship designation by CPA Bermuda in recognition of his outstanding contributions made to the accounting profession and to the community. He has also been recognized by Brothers of Bermuda for exemplary leadership in the areas of accounting and was selected for membership in the Young Presidents Organization. Being community-minded with a particular interest in education, Craig is currently the chairman of the governing body of the Berkeley Institute and a member of the Board of Education, the Albert College Board of Governors, including being chair of its Finance Committee, and the Frederick Sidney Smith Scholarship Committee, which issues scholarships for the benefit of Bermuda students attending Albert College. Craig has most recently been appointed to the Board of Directors of the Bermuda Airport Authority and also acts as chairman of the board's Finance Committee. Boy, that's a mouthful. How do you manage that, Bernie?
Yeah, exactly.
Prior business association and community-based roles he has held include chairman and founder of the Alternative Investment Management Association, Networking Bermuda, education officer for YPO Bermuda, member of the Asset Management Working Group of the Bermuda Business Development Agency, council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bermuda, now CPA Bermuda, responsible for the Professional Practice Committee, member of the local marketing committee of the Bermuda International Business Association, member of the board of directors of the West End Development Corporation, treasurer of the Berkeley Educational Society and its Centennial Celebrations Committee, member of the Bermuda Regiment Band, member of the Government of Bermuda Audit Committee, member of the board of directors of Raleigh International Bermuda, and team leader for the Ministry of Education's Ministry Reform Team. Boy, Craig is married to my former student, Monique, and has two daughters, Maya and Soleil, is that correct?
Right.
Soleil. I finally learned how to say it. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Orton. On behalf of the Board of Governors and by the authority vested in the board by the Bermuda College Act of 1974, I hereby admit Mr. Craig I.V. Bridgewater, the Company of Fellows of Bermuda College, and all rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
Who's that one?
Congratulations.
Very good.
Good evening, all. I would say thank you to my fellow inductee, Dr. Ferguson, for having established protocol. We should all the titles down to everybody. That was very beneficial. I'm humbled and grateful to stand before you this evening. Grateful for being recognized for this honor, and humbled as I realize that I stand on the shoulders of many honorary fellows that have come before me. Humbled also as I review the list of those people and consider the great contributions that they have made to the community that we live in. To this end, I say thank you to the company of honorary fellows, board of the Bermuda College, the president of the Bermuda College for seeing fit to invite me to accept this award. I would also like to thank my immediate support network, 3 young ladies in Monique, Maya, and Soleil, those that keep you grounded and remind you that you are just great. Thank you also to my parents, Martha and Victor, who gave me the support and opportunities and still continue to do so. I want to also give thanks to God. It always makes me smile how He has a way of ordering your steps. For on Friday, December 11th, myself and 2 colleagues figure we'll start our weekend early and enjoy a round of golf. In the meantime, we had an important entity level initiative that we were working on. By hole 7, an email came in to indicate that there was a hiccup. Needless to say, by hole 9, we were packing up our golf clubs and heading back to the office. Obviously feeling a bit anxious and also disappointed that our outing had been foiled. But there was good news to come. As I walked into my office, the phone was ringing. And it was one of those rings where you say, should I answer it, should I not answer it? Luckily, I did answer it, and it was none other than Mr. Horton giving me a call to say that the Bermuda College wanted to honor me in this way. This is just an example of how you can be put in the right places at the right time in order to receive what may be in store for you. The news of that day has caused me to reflect many times on why I've gotten myself involved in the things that I have. Why do I do what I do? I've always aimed to have a community-based involvement and also be involved in at least one business. Both are vital to a vibrant, fulfilled, productive, and successful society. I believe that I've been able to give to the community as a result of the education that was given or that was afforded to me. Is therefore significant and not to be forgotten by me that a long standing of our small but complex island. They offer many avenues for people to obtain knowledge they need in order to support each another. Preparing our residents to be successful both in Bermuda and internationally, for after all, we are an international center of business. To this end, I honor Bermuda College, I thank you, and I wish you continued success. And I thank you and I thank everybody for the opportunity to be honored in this way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bridgewater. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Dr. Green. Thank you, Mr. Phillips, for your involvement in the program. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed the induction of 3 most distinguished, most deserving, truly exemplary individuals as honorary fellows of the Bermuda College. Each occupies a position of the highest regard by our community. Each has made an invaluable contribution to the college specifically, or to the quality of education in Bermuda generally, and to the overall enrichment of our island's home. Dr. Ferguson, Mr. Bridgewater, and Dr. Hudson, posthumously, we express our heartfelt gratitude and congratulations. We salute you and warmly welcome you to the company of honorary fellows of the Bermuda College. Dr. Janet Ferguson and Mr. Craig Bridgewater, we ask that you as honorary fellows continue to be strong advocates for the Bermuda College. continue to be sparks that help the college to realize its mission, transforming lives through innovative education. In the same vein, we pray that current and future generations of Bermudians will be inspired by the superb life of service led by our first posthumous honorary fellow recipient, Dr. Eva Hudson. Finally, I wish to thank those colleagues who worked so hard to ensure the success of tonight's first ever Honorary Fellows induction ceremony conducted virtually. And when we see the challenges that they've had along the way, we really are grateful to you meeting the challenge that you've met tonight to ensure that we were able to get out to the public. May God continue to bless our college and our island. Good night and best wishes.